Hi, my name's Densham. I'm the author of a book called Writing the Alligator, Strategies for a Career in Screenplay Writing and Not Getting Eaten. The book has a picture of me as a little kid, as a 4-year-old, riding an alligator, which was the thing I did in one of my parents' movies. They made little theatrical shorts when I was a youngster, and I thought that was the most magical thing, to see a camera, to see what it did, and to see how an audience responded to a movie, and fell in love with the idea of trying to be creative and to do something with cameras for the rest of my life. I've managed to do that. I made some movies that people have heard of, like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which I co-wrote with my partner. And we worked as producers on other movies like Backdraft and Blown Away, which we didn't write. And I also wrote a movie called Mull Flanders, which Robin Wright and Morgan Freeman starred in, which I directed. So I've had a lucky opportunity to explore creativity and writing, and I've also been able to explore some of the anxiety and the things that come along with that. And my hope in writing a book about it was essentially to try and write the kind of book that I wanted to read when I was starting out at the beginning of my career as a writer. I also have been able, in a little occasionally, not as frequently as I would like, to teach at USC to some of the MFA grads there. And I decided to check out my chapters as I was writing them with my MFA graduates. And what happened was I was the only prof that I know of got their grading from their students as they were working on their papers. So the whole thing actually came together this year and got published in January. And it's kind of interesting just to see the responses. It's not an ordinary how-to book. In fact, my rule is ignore everything I say that goes against your creative instinct. My hope is that the book is an inspiration to take creative risk, to explore your own personal nature, to find your voice, and then what we call it strategies, because surviving when you're a sensitive, creative person in a business that doesn't always necessarily value or understand what you create can be very difficult. And so several of the chapters are just trying to help, from my perspective, give you some strengths, how to find an agent that's going to stick with you, what to do when you don't have the kind of work you want. And also it speaks to trying to create when you're not necessarily sure of your own abilities. And the other thing that the book speaks to, which I'm very, very proud of, is I managed to get a dozen other Hollywood writers of real substance, people like Lita Kalogridis, who co-wrote Avatar, people that have been through the mill and understand the process. And I asked them each to write a small piece in the book so that other voices were present, other people who've had the same struggles, and you could look at that and see their emotional intelligences. And so if my perspective wasn't necessarily the same as yours, there was another person maybe in there that could give you encouragement to keep going.